Back in August 2013, there was a little Kickstarter project known as the Pressy. Dubbed as the almighty Android button, the Pressy was simply a button that plugged into your phone's headset jack and your phone would respond according to how many times you pressed the device and how many times. With pledges that offered the device starting at $15, it was backed successfully, with it reaching its goal in less than 24 hours, and by the end of its funding period, it has ranked over $695,000. It was expected to ship out by March of 2014, but then delays started. March became end April, and end April finally became mid-June. This extended time frame allowed others to borrow the idea and get to the market even faster, with Xiaomi and other manufacturers being able to reach the market before Pressy even shipped. And Xiaomi and others were only asking for $1 or $2 at most, including shipping. Compared to the final cost of Pressy being $27, this was a huge price difference. Nevertheless, now that I had the device for a good 3 months, and I've used it extensively, it's time for my opinion. I'm Adriel, and welcome to the Access Project.
So you can find a lot of these Pressy knockoffs everywhere. If you look on the web, you can find so many different vendors selling them. To name a few off my head, Xiaomi, 360, and a lot more other vendors. I bought two. I can't remember what manufacturer I bought it from. I tried searching up on the web, I can't find it anymore. I can't really explain this very well, but it has a very thick button, and if you press it, it actually brings down the tip of the headphone port. So that's how it activates button simulation. I bought another one from 360, and it is more conventional. It's very similar to Pressy in the sense of there's a button on top, and when you click it, nothing goes down, there's no mechanical, it's just a simple button on top and that's it. It also came with a carrying case, so that was very nice indeed. However, out of these two, I would say avoid the mechanical first one that I showed you guys. It broke my headphone port on my tablet.
Hey, you wanna fight?
Well, smush can you? Oh!
Yay!
Yes, after using it and then pulling it out, it somehow made the headphone port, one of the connectors, to be dislodged, which resulted in me only being able to hear in one ear, like mono sound in my right ear. And that was super annoying. I had to get it repaired. Thank you, ASUS, for accepting that. Malfunctioning tablet malfunctioning. Yeah, user error. The design of the 360 one, which is the more conventional one, is pretty nice. It sits about 4mm above my phone. Without a case on, it is very noticeable that it is on. However, if you put a case on, it sits pretty flush, and I don't notice it much. I also hold my phone in a way that I don't touch anywhere near the top part of the phone, so I don't notice it in my everyday usage. However, if your headphone jack is on the bottom, like a HTC One, you might notice it in that case. I'm going to be calling this device a key because I can't really find a good word for it. And so the keys button rattles a bit, but it doesn't feel like it's going to pop off, so in general, it's still a pretty decent feel. The tactile feedback on it is also pretty decent. Setting up the key is pretty simple. You just go on the Play Store and search Pressy, and then you see a bunch of different apps that allows you to control this key. I used to use the one that came with this key here, which is called 360 key, and it works pretty well, but recently I have swapped over to this new app called KeyCut, which I find way better. You can set it up to do a lot of things. For example, let's just look at this three clicks, which I haven't assigned to anything yet. I can assign it to an application, an activity, a shortcut, hot words for Google Now, toolbox, which basically pops up a menu where you can have more items, toggles like your silence, your vibrate, your brightness, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, yada yada yada, and flashlight, more importantly. And you also can map it to like system hardware buttons like home, power, recent apps, search, voice search, play, next, in song, pause, then it's a previous song. It's pretty simple and you have a lot of options. Currently I have it set up that one click of the button turns off my screen or turns it on depending on the state of my phone. Two clicks activates the flashlight, and 4 clicks activates the camera. Okay, we have talked about the features, but what we want to know is how does it work and how well does it work more specifically in everyday phone usage. And this is my opinion. It is nice to have. It is specifically for me the flashlight. It is super easy to turn on the flashlight with this thing. It's like 2 clicks and I'm off to the races. And it doesn't even matter if my screen is on or off, which is very, very nice. The 4-click camera also works very well, in my opinion. It's what I use to open my camera when I have this plugged in. So in everyday use, I find it actually quite useful for flashlight and opening the camera. However, I don't find it that useful when opening like the everyday app like WhatsApp, Messages, WeChat, phone, Facebook, whatever. I find it easier to hit the home button and then open the app. And the reason because of that is because of performance. Because every time you click it, it is still waiting about 500 milliseconds-ish for the next click. So if you don't perform that click, you will say, okay, now I will start launching the app or action. And that gives it a persistent lag. It's not that big. 500 milliseconds still is acceptable in my opinion for things like the flashlight and all. But when it comes to loading apps in general, I find it faster if I just hit my home key and just tap on an application, because that's just faster. However, for things like the flashlight and the camera, it's easier for me to double click or click my key 4 times when I'm in the lock screen to have that immediately fire up. It is not all shiny and rainbows, however, because there is a problem with lag. Not just the lag that I was talking about just now. There are times where I'll press the button and then it will only respond 4 seconds later. It is super, super annoying, and while it only happens maybe 5% of the time, it happens, and that can get kind of irritating because you want to get to that function now, and you have to wait. Granted, I don't have a high-end phone. I'm using a Snapdragon 200 on this device. But even then, I would want the performance to be at least somewhat decent, and that is kind of annoying that it's not consistent. And here is another caveat, unfortunately. It is annoying to keep removing and putting back the key when you want to listen to music through your headphones or earphones. And if you do that often, it will get annoying and it's very easy to lose this. Now, it does come with a carrier that you can attach to your headphone cable, but the problem is if you have a thick headphone cable, it won't attach, so it makes this hard to store. And even if you could store it, it is a pain to keep on taking out and removing still, which makes it quite hard for me because I listen to a lot of media on my phone through headphones. I don't like doing anything media related without headphones. I just love the extra clarity that comes with it, and this drives me. It's annoying, and what I end up doing is that I take it off and I never put it back on for 2 months. Another issue with Pressy and the concept in general is that it doesn't work on some phones. Samsung Galaxy Notes, a lot of them don't work with them. Some Huawei devices, some HTC devices, you are not guaranteed compatibility even though you own an Android phone. And it is super obvious. Go into the Play Store and look at the ratings. A lot of them give 1-star ratings because it doesn't work with their phone. And the problem is, it's not the software vendor's problem. It's a hardware problem, or TouchWiz has some weird thing that doesn't allow them to use it, or whatever skin manufacturers put on it, be it HTC with their Sense and LG with their whatever UI, what UI does LG use? So is it worth it for most people? Honestly, I would say it varies. I personally found it useful for only flashlight and the camera because it was super easy. It made launching these application and tasks super easy from my lock screen. But some people might not find this that useful. For some people, a flashlight can be activated very easily on their phone, and so is the camera, which makes people question, why do I need this? Like I said, launching applications are a bit slow with it, so for some people I think they will find it totally useless. And for $15 for the official Pressy, I don't think it's that worth it. For $2, it's a nice toy to play around with, and considering that you can get it working with Tasker if you want to get it more advanced, go ahead and do it. For me personally, I would keep this on my phone if it was not for the fact that I listen to so much media on my headphones and on my earphones that the hassle of needing to unplug it and plug it back in and trying to find a place to store it makes it too much of a hassle, and the cons outweigh the pros here. So I'm not gonna use it on a day-to-day basis. I'm just gonna keep my headphone jack empty and clean.